Είμαστε και πάλι μαζί, κυρίες και κύριοι, με το δεύτερο μέρος της εκπομπής μας. Είστε πάντα συντονισμένοι στο Thrakinet. Ας περάσουμε να δούμε το επόμενό μας θέμα. Φορολογικές αποφάσεις. Τέρμα οι τοξικές πρακτικές στην Ευρώπη. Ας δούμε τι γίνεται με την πρόοδο στο ζήτημα αυτό, αλλά και για τα συνεχή εμπόδια που προκύπτουν.
Parliament's Special Committee on Tax Rulings is winding up with a full vote on its findings and recommendations due before the end of the year. Set up after LuxLeaks and the outrage at the tax breaks given to multinationals, the committee was tasked with looking into whether tax rulings clash with state aid rules and national taxation law. If so, what to do next?
The role that this Parliament can play is keep the pressure on the Commission and on the Member States. Show how bad the reality is so that they are politically forced to move.
Yes, sir, to that, says Antoine Deltour, the French accountant who blew the lid on the tax rulings that Luxembourg gave to hundreds of companies. In October, he was in Parliament, a place where he feels among friends, picking up a European Citizens Award. But, with a trial in Luxembourg imminent, when we met him, he was reluctant to shout out loud, a whispered message, but no less strong for it.
We still have multinationals who can still move their profits from country to country. They make sure the processes are so complex that it keeps citizens at a distance and quiet.
It seems incredible, but the rules governing corporate tax go back to the new international order that took shape after the First World War, to the formation of the League of Nations.
The international tax rules were designed in the early 1920s to eliminate double taxation for cross-border investment. These rules have proved too weak because they have not kept pace with the way business operates.
The OECD is changing that. It's been driving new rules to get multinationals to share earnings and other key information and drive away the fog of obscurity and non-disclosure.
The financial crisis in 2008, I think, was the wake-up call for many governments that the international tax framework didn't work well, and there was a connection for once with some political pressure from the people. The man and the woman in the street not understanding why high net worth individuals could hide billions in tax havens, and why, on the other hand, some big juicy multinationals wouldn't pay taxes on their offshore profit because they could divorce the location of the profits and the location of the activities.
On the question of tax rulings and tax competition, which the Parliamentary Committee has been focusing on, he is unambiguous.
Tax rulings are here to stay, because tax rulings, as a matter of principles, are not bad. Harmful tax rulings are dead as of now. The exchange of information, the automatic exchange of information on the tax rulings will kill the toxicity of the rulings.
Tax rulings are made by the tax administrations of many EU member states, often on criteria which may support other objectives, like generating employment. In Belgium, Geert de Nief is a lawyer acting for companies seeking rulings on their tax status and transactions. He says the landscape is already changing fast.
People do become more prudent, lesser interested in the setting up and the applying of aggressive tax schemes. If you know that your local tax inspector has an overall view of your tax revenues and taxes to be paid within a group, that I'm sure will have a major influence.
Is all of that reassuring to MEPs? Many wanted a committee of inquiry established rather than special committee with powers to interrogate witnesses and demand documents. For some, it's been a frustrating 8 months.
We started visiting member states. We asked for documents later on. We discover now that we are not getting them. Aha, surprise, surprise. The member states do not want this. So they just want to appear as if they are doing something, but not doing the thing.
Fellow committee member Brian Hayes, who's from Ireland, a country which has come in for particular, but he says unfair attention, believes the past 8 months have helped to focus minds.
There's a much broader issue that has to be put at the centre of policymakers now, and the question is aggressive tax planning. We have to ensure that corporates, big and small, pay their fair share of taxes.
Where next then, in terms of future steps to be taken by Parliament?
We believe that European legislation should go the full way and not just doing the minima that the OECD initiative proposes, but go beyond that to make sure that we are tackling the issue. And basically in Europe that would mean gradually harmonizing or converging the corporate taxation systems across Europe.
The common issue that we face across Europe is to make sure that we don't have tax dumping, where effectively the competitive practices of one country are so competitive as to make it impossible for businesses to establish in other countries.
A final word to the man without whom the debate about tax rulings might never have come so far so quickly. This, as Antoine Deltour prepares to fight charges in Luxembourg, including theft allegations and allegations he violated Luxembourg's secrecy laws. If convicted, he faces between 5 and 10 years in prison.
Public pressure creates moral duty, not legal duty. This fruit is not yet mature. We want and we need protection for whistleblowers.
Για πολλά χρόνια, θολές επιπρόσθετες χρεώσεις ή αυξήσεις τιμών μετέτρεπαν τις ονειρεμένες ταξιδιωτικές ευκαιρίες σε εφιαλτικές απώλειες. Τι αλλάζει τώρα?
The internet has radically changed the way we travel. Travelers can now easily combine buying a plane ticket with renting a car or booking a hotel room on a single web portal. This is called a travel package. Consumers buying these customized trips will now be better protected in case one of the service providers goes bust. After long negotiations, the European Parliament managed to impose stricter rules on the matter. In practice, let's say you book a plane ticket and a hotel room through the website of an airline. If the company charges you a total price that covers both services, it acts as a tour operator and is therefore responsible in the event of problems. Travellers will be better informed of the products they're buying and of the level of their protection. For example, if the price of a travel package increases by more than 8%, the traveller will have the right to cancel the reservation without paying additional fees. The purchase of related services is a slightly different matter. This is where, having bought a plane ticket at an airline company website, the traveller, for example, rents a car through a targeted online advertisement. The traveller will be covered only for the insolvency of the first service provider. However, they should be clearly informed that they have not purchased a travel package. These new travel booking rules improve the protection of more than 120 million travellers.
Ο πρόεδρος της Ειδικής Επιτροπής για Φορολογικές Αποφάσεις τύπου Tax Rulings, κύριος Λαμασούρ, δηλώνει πως η ηθική είναι πλέον της μόδας.
Après le scandale du LuxLeaks, le Parlement européen crée une commission spéciale sur les rescrits fiscaux. Elle entame ses travaux en mars 2015. Son but, faire toute la lumière sur des pratiques fiscales abusives et émettre des recommandations pour y mettre fin. Mais quel sera l'impact de ces recommandations? Ce travail va-t-il réellement porter ses fruits? Il est temps pour Alain Lamassoure, président de cette commission spéciale taxe, de tirer les conclusions.
Alain Lamassoure, bonsoir. Est-ce que 8 mois plus tard, vous avez ces recommandations pour mettre fin aux injustices que sont les rescrits fiscaux?
Nous les avons mis au point et adoptés à l'issue d'un travail qui a duré plus de 6 mois. Le point de départ, c'est le scandale LuxLeaks, c'est-à-dire que la presse s'est procuré les dossiers fiscaux d'une centaine de très grandes multinationales basées fiscalement à Luxembourg et qui ont montré que, au Grand-Duché du Luxembourg, ces entreprises avaient obtenu des privilèges fiscaux qui leur permettaient d'échapper à la quasi-totalité de l'impôt. Et on a vérifié que dans d'autres États membres, les privilèges de ce genre existaient aussi.
Ça, c'est un constat. Mais
Absolument.
Vos recommandations par rapport à ça, vous avez rencontré des ONG, vous avez rencontré des ministres,
Absolument.
des journalistes, vous l'avez dit.
Alors nous faisons des recommandations à 2 niveaux. Niveau européen, nous considérons que nous sommes une seule famille. Nous avons l'obligation d'avoir aussi le même type d'imposition des bénéfices dans les 28 pays. Et puis il y a le niveau mondial. Parce qu'il faut bien prendre en compte le fait que les multinationales, par définition, leur marché est mondial et que les privilèges fiscaux qu'elles ont pu trouver à l'intérieur de l'Union européenne, si elles ne les y trouvent plus, elles peuvent les trouver ailleurs.
J'en reviens à l'interview que nous avons faite au mois de mars 2015. Vous m'avez dit, pour arriver à ces fins et pouvoir réellement concrétiser ces recommandations, nous allons devoir violer, c'était le verbe que vous avez utilisé, les ministres des Finances des 28.
Nous nous étions fixés comme premier objectif avec la Commission européenne que sur les rulings eux-mêmes, donc cette pratique de rescrits fiscaux, on adopte un texte qu'on appelle une directive qui fait obligation aux 28 ministères des Finances de s'informer mutuellement, automatiquement, de tous les rulings qu'ils accordent à toutes les entreprises. Et si la mission du Parlement n'était pas allée dans la demi-douzaine de pays les plus critiquables à cet égard, les ministres des Finances auraient trouvé tous les prétextes pour retarder de 3 mois, de 6 mois, et puis à la limite ne jamais.
Est-ce que vous avez l'impression que les pays membres ont joué le jeu? Je n'avais pas l'impression toujours qu'on vous ouvrait toutes les portes et que vous étiez le bienvenu.
Le bienvenu, pas véritablement. Toutes les portes, peut-être pas, mais je dirais toutes les portes utiles. Si ce que nous disions il y a 6 mois reste vrai, tout ce qui ne donnera pas lieu de la part des ministères des Finances des gouvernements à une décision de principe d'ici la fin de l'année risquerait de nous faire perdre 10 ans.
Pour que tout cela ait lieu, il a fallu un monsieur qui s'appelle Antoine Deltour qui a ouvert le dossier LuxLeaks en apportant des informations à certains journalistes. Aujourd'hui, Antoine Deltour attend un procès dans lequel il pourrait être condamné à 5 voire 10 ans de prison. Comment les fameux whistleblowers peuvent être protégés par rapport aux informations qu'ils vous apportent?
Juridiquement, il est tout à fait normal qu'ils soient l'objet de poursuites. Disons que l'autorité judiciaire indépendante du Grand-Duché n'a pas fait preuve de beaucoup de finesse en lançant les poursuites qui ont été lancées contre M. Deltour. Mais de notre côté, en permettant ces révélations et en permettant à travers les médias à tous les citoyens d'être au courant de cette situation, qui est légale, mais qui est scandaleuse, qui est prodigieusement immorale, Antoine Deltour a fait œuvre de ce que j'ai appelé publiquement un nouveau type de citoyen européen.
Alors il a reçu d'ailleurs un prix du citoyen européen.
Le prix du bon citoyen.
On aimerait dire c'est bien gentil, mais
citoyen d'honneur. Ça n'est pas que bien gentil. C'est comme quand on délivre le prix Sakharov ou le prix Nobel de la paix à quelqu'un. C'est quand même un bel encouragement. En tout cas, nous posons le problème. Et nous demandons à la Commission européenne de mettre sur la table des propositions concrètes pour protéger les lanceurs d'alerte, je dirais, loyaux, sincères et honnêtes.
Enfin, dernière question, est-ce que vous avez vraiment l'impression que les États membres vont jouer le jeu?
Ce dont je suis sûr, c'est qu'il y a maintenant un changement d'état d'esprit parmi les gouvernements et parmi les multinationales. La mode est à la vertu. Et du coup, les multinationales elles-mêmes se rendent compte qu'à partir du moment où elles sont prises la main dans le sac, leur réputation est en jeu. Alors, il en va de toutes les modes. Ça peut être fugace. Notre rôle est de profiter de cette période, de cette fenêtre d'opportunité, pour graver l'obligation de vertu dans le marbre européen.
Alain Lamassoure, merci beaucoup. Nous verrons si cette vertu aura lieu partout dans le monde. Je vous le souhaite en tous les cas. Merci.
Merci.
Αντίο στις χρεώσεις περιαγωγής και καλώς ήρθε το δίκαιο διαδίκτυο. Ημέρα νίκης για τους καταναλωτές της Ευρωπαϊκής Ένωσης. Ας δούμε το βίντεο που ακολουθεί.
A big moment in an EU often dismissed as out of touch with citizens' needs. MEPs passed the abolition of roaming surcharges by 2017 and rights on accessing the internet.
Across Europe, you can use your phone like you were at home, but those who stay at home will not pick up an extra bill.
There are exceptions, excessive roaming for example, but another issue for MEPs was people's equal access to the net alongside big commercial or government users. Net neutrality as it's known.
Ein neutrales Internet ist die wichtigste Infrastruktur der Demokratie für die Zukunft.
O tráfico tem que ser tratado de forma igual, sem discriminação, sem restrição ou interferência.
Qui abbiamo conciliato gli interessi dei cittadini e la necessità anche di far crescere il sistema.
Pilar del Castillo headed the negotiating team.
It is a kind of abolishment of a sort of tax on free movement of people in Europe. It implies eliminating a barrier for so many companies, for so many startups in the European space.
Next stage, smaller phone bills after April 2016, even smaller ones from June 2017, when the legislation fully kicks in.
Η νέα προσέγγιση της Ευρώπης για τους γενετικά τροποποιημένους οργανισμούς τελικά αποτελούν απειλή ή ευκαιρία. Η Ευρωπαϊκή Ένωση όμως βρήκε τρόπο για να προχωρήσει μπροστά.
Feeding the world's 7 billion people is no easy task. Some people are advocating for genetically modified organisms, or GMOs, as one of the solutions for the demand for food. Just like this piece of maize. But GMOs are hugely controversial. There aren't just different rules for different types of GMOs, different rules are also in place for the food that humans eat and for animal feed. A GMO is an organism which scientists have altered by introducing alien genes or by modifying a plant's genetic structure. The process generates proteins that give the modified organism new properties. Proponents of GMOs argue the main benefit is higher productivity, then resistance to pests, rodents and disease, which they say in turn reduces the need for pesticides. GMOs, they say, could also increase the capacity of plants to deal with harsh weather. Opponents argue GMOs present unknown perils to humans, animals and biodiversity. They say vital agricultural pollinators such as bees or butterflies are threatened. Genetically modified crops become resistant to weed killer, forcing farmers to use more and more, which in turn kills other vegetation and wildlife. They also say GMOs can contaminate and mutate wild plants, and they're concerned that farmers get locked into buying seed from GMO companies. Europe allows GMOs, but currently less than 1% of its arable land is being used for their cultivation, and that too only in 5 countries: Spain, Portugal, Slovakia, Romania and the Czech Republic. At the moment, there is only one GMO under cultivation in Europe, MON 810, an insect-resistant maize or corn. However, 40 GMO-based products are being imported, like soya used for animal feed. Every GMO product must be clearly labelled, except when its GMO content falls beneath 0.9%. The last decade has seen a lot of argument and division between member states over the rules covering the cultivation of GMOs. But the EU has now agreed on a new way forward. Member states can now restrict or ban the cultivation of GMOs if they're believed to have a socio-economic impact, such as affecting countryside planning or agricultural practices. The scientific assessment, conducted purely on a public health and scientific basis, remains within the remit of the European Food Safety Authority. If EU members elect for GMOs, they can then decide whether to grow GM and non-GM crops side by side and determine the distances between them. Currently, they vary from 5 to 600 metres. Separately, discussions are underway on whether member states can restrict or ban entirely the sale and use of GMO food and feeds on their territory. Amongst the issues at stake, the free movement of goods across internal borders.
Κυρίες και κύριοι, εδώ ολοκληρώθηκε ακόμα μία εκπομπή Ευρώπη Τώρα. Σας ευχαριστούμε θερμά που μας παρακολουθήσατε. Να έχετε μια όμορφη νύχτα. Γεια σας.